Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by Ekam IAS. So today on 9th September 2019, our topics for discussion are Time Bank, then Centralized, Nilgiri Tahr, then Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, that is JCPA, Mapped Program, and the previous year question revision series. So let's move to our first topic, that is Time Bank. So the news is that the Happiness Department of Madhya Pradesh government, they are going to open a time bank. So the concept of this time bank means actually it's a reciprocal service exchange which uses the units of time as currency. Okay, so whenever you hear about time bank, you have to remember that it uses units of time as currency. Okay, so actually the concept is that whether it's a banker or it's a gardener, this time progresses the same way for everyone. So we can say it is acting as an equalizer. So what happens is that the Madhya Pradesh government's Happiness Department they plans to set up a time bank. Okay, so a time bank that would lend currency to an hour, which could be exchanged to learn a new skill without the need of any paper money. Okay, so this is the basic concept of time bank. So we can say whenever a bank member he needs a service, or we can say if he wants to acquire a skill, for example playing, then gardening or guitar, any type of skill, then he or she could exchange a credit worth an hour with another member knowing the skill. Okay, so as a whole we can say it's a new way to link untapped social capacity to unmet social needs. Clear? Then next we have to know how it is going to work. So at this start they select 50,000 volunteers or 50,000 volunteers get registered with the department through local networks. Okay, so they will form community level banks and list skills whatever they could impart or services they could offer. Okay, so then an experienced volunteer, he will induct new members and he will keep a record of all the transactions. Okay, so we can say the members they will start with a zero credit which they could gradually acquire by imparting skills. Okay, so you have to remember that the credits they can even go in negative. Okay, so this is how actually it works. Then, so regarding the history of time bank, we know it is conceived at the Cincinnati Time Store in 1827, and the concept of time bank gained currency with the setting up of the first time bank in Japan in 1973. Okay, then later the CEO of the Time Banks USA, that is Mr. Edgar Can, he popularized the time dollars. Okay, and today there are more than 500 such communities across 32 countries. And in Madhya Pradesh, this time banks they will enable person to person, then we can say person to agency and even agency to agency transaction. Clear? Then that's all regarding time bank. And our second topic it is Centralized. So the news is that we all know the background news, you all know it has been almost 9 months after an American national, John Allen. So he was allegedly killed by the Centralists on the North Sentinel Island of Andaman and Nicobar. Okay, so you all know this background news. So a recent publication by the Anthropology Survey of India, it throws more light on the incident and also the ways of one of the most isolated tribes in the world. Okay, that's why it came in news. So here you have to know who are Sentinelists and also the legal provision regarding this Sentinelese tribe or the protected tribes. So we know the Sentinelese, they are the pre-Neolithic or Negrito tribe. Okay, and they live in the North Sentinel Island of Andamans. Okay, and the thing is that they are isolated with no contact to the outside world. And the census 2001 conducted using photographs counted them at 39. Okay, and also the surveys of North Sentinel Island, it have not found any evidence of agriculture. Instead, they say the community, they seems to be hunter-gatherers. Okay, so this hunter-gatherers, you know, they get their food through fishing, hunting, and also collecting wild plants living on the island. Okay, and here you have to know one more thing, that the Sentinelese, they are also listed under the particularly vulnerable tribal groups, okay, by the government of India. Okay. Then here you can see the location of North Sentinel Island, and also the picture depicts the tribe people, the Sentinelese people. Then regarding their legal protection, we can say they are protected under the Andaman and Nicobar Islands Protection of Aboriginal Tribes Regulation Act of 1956. Okay, and it declares traditional areas occupied by the tribes as reserves, and also it prohibited entry of all except those with authorization. Okay, and also you have to know that the photographing these tribal members, it is also an offense. Okay, then under the Foreigners Restricted Areas Order, that is in 1963, the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, they are a restricted area, okay, in which foreigners with a restricted area permit, that is RAP, they can stay for 30 or they can stay on 13 islands, and they can make day visit to another 11. Clear? That's all regarding its legal protection. Then you have to know about other tribes in the island. You know, the Andaman Island, it has divided into 4 different regions, namely North, Middle, South, and even Little Andaman. Okay, and the most common tribes in these areas, they are the Great Andamanis, then Jarawa tribes, Sentinelese, and Onge. Okay, so first about the Great Andamanis, a straight islands, it is a part of North and Middle Andaman district, which is the home to these Great Andamanis. Okay, so fewer than 50 Great Andamanis are alive today. That's the report says. Clear? And the next one about Jarawa tribe, South Andaman and the Middle Andaman Islands are inhabited by this Jarawa tribes, and there are only 300 to 400 people in this community which are alive today. Okay. And next about Sentinelese, we know the North Sentinel Island is a part of North Andaman region, and it is a home to the Sentinelese tribe, and the report says that only 50 to 100 tribes are alive today. Clear? And regarding the Onge tribe, the Little Andaman Island is home to the Onge tribe, and these tribes, they are fewer than 100. Clear? That's all regarding the other tribes in the island. And here you have to know about one more thing, that is about particularly vulnerable tribal groups. So I have already said the Sentinelese group, they belong to this particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Actually, these islands, they are home to this particularly vulnerable tribal groups, and in this PVTGS, okay, that is a short form. Actually, they are centrally recognized special category from among the scheduled tribes, and they were constituted during the 4th 5-year plan on the basis of report of the Debar Commission, that is during the period 1960-61. Actually, they are the most vulnerable section among the tribals, and generally they inhabit the isolated or remote areas, and it is difficult areas. And another peculiar feature is that they are small in number, and they are having scattered habitats. Okay, that's about this particularly vulnerable tribal groups. Clear? So let's move to our next topic, that is Nilgiri Tahr. So the news is that it's a good news for the state of Tamil Nadu, that is this Nilgiri Tahr. You know, the Nilgiri Tahr, it is a state animal of Tamil Nadu, and its sightings in the Mukriti National Park, it have risen from 568 in 2018 to 612 this year. So we can say the number of Nilgiri Tahr has risen. That is the news. Here you can see the picture of Nilgiri Tahr. So about more facts, we can say this was the second consecutive year that there is an increase in the population of the animal, and it had been recorded in the park. Meaning the population of Nilgiri Tahr, and you know this Nilgiri Tahr, it is also known as Nilgiri Ibex, and it has risen by 132 since 2016. But almost 8% increase in the population of this animal in 2019 follows a similarly significant increase in its population in 2018. But there was a decrease in the Tahr numbers in 2017 when a population of only 438 was recorded, down from 480 in 2016. Okay, these are the factual concepts. Then, about the Nilgiri Tahr, you know, it's a state animal of Tamil Nadu. First, you have to know that. Then, it is endemic to Western Ghats from Nilgiris to Kanyakumari. Okay, it is endemic to the Western Ghats and is listed in the Schedule 1 of Wildlife Protection Act of 1972 and as endangered on IUCN Red List. Clear? So, this Nilgiri Tahr, mainly it inhabits the open montane grasslands habits at elevations from 1200 to 2600 meter. That means we can say generally about 2000 meter of the southwestern Ghats. Okay. So, an estimated 700 to 800 Nilgiri Tahr it inhabits in the Irvikulam National Park, which is located in Kerala. So, making it the largest wild population in the world. Clear? So, that's about this Nilgiri Tahr. And here we will also discuss about other national parks in Tamil Nadu. You know, they are the first one we have already discussed, that is Mukriti National Park. Then the other national park includes Gindi National Park, then Gulf of Mannar Marine National Park. It's a marine national park. Okay. Then Indira Gandhi, that is Annamalai National Park, and Mudumalai National Park. So here you have to take a map of Tamil Nadu and please locate these national parks in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Then next topic, there is Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action or JCPOA. So actually the news is that the Iran crisis, it reflects the strains between the US and Europe over the US president's maximalist political approaches. Okay. So this is the news. So earlier, you know, Iran, it has announced that it would reduce its commitments under the 2015 nuclear deal, or it is otherwise known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. So what happens? The European nations, they want to preserve the deal, or we can say, or the JCPOA, even if they seem worried about a growing list of violations by the Iran of the deal. Okay, so this is the background. And so let's discuss in detail. We know the Iran nuclear deal or the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. It was signed between Iran and the P5. P5 means 5 permanent members of the UNSC plus Germany and the European Union in 2015. Okay. So basically this deal, it aims at curbing Iran's nuclear program. Okay, that is its main aim. So, as per this deal, Iran, it has agreed that most of Iran's enriched uranium, it was shipped out of the country, and a heavy water facility, it was rendered inoperable, and also operational nuclear facilities, it were brought under the international inspection. Okay, these deals are agreed by Iran as per the deal. Okay. So, in return, what happens? The deal, it involved lifting of international sanctions on Iran. Clear? Then, here you can see the member countries in Iran nuclear deal. Then, so now what happens? So, now the very idea for Iran agreeing to the deal was that it would help lift its sanctions, so thereby providing relief to its economy. Okay, that's why mainly it agrees. But the US withdrawal from this nuclear deal and then increase in the pressure, thereafter it made implementation of the deal very difficult. And the Iran, it has announced the suspension of some of the restrictions in the deal and not of withdrawing from the deal. Okay, this is the condition. And next we have to know the reasons given for withdrawal by the US. So, this JCPOA does not have binding restrictions on Iran's ballistic missile program. Okay, and it does, and we can say it does nothing to prevent Iran from sponsoring terrorism in its region. So, it's one reason. And second reason, they say is that most restrictions it have a sunset clause, which means that over the years this JCPOA provision it will become less strict, and this will enable Iran to move towards nuclear weapon capability. Okay, so these are the two reasons. We can say why the US withdrew from this deal. Clear? Then, today in MapPedia program, we will be continuing with World Heritage Site. In that, we will be continuing with Natural Site. So, today we will be dealing with Kilidio National Park. Okay. So, about Kilidio National Park, you know, it is one of the few natural sites which is listed under the UNESCO World Heritage Sites in India, and it was inscribed in 1985. You have to remember the year. So, this Kilidio National Park lies between two of India's most historic cities. That means it lies between Agra and Jaipur. So, this is the, we can say this is the North Indian Park, and it is situated in the country's northwestern part of Rajasthan. Okay, so you have to remember that it was declared as a national park in 1982, and then later it was tagged as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985, that we have already said. So, it was, you have to remember, it was declared as a national park in 1982 and a World Heritage Site by UNESCO in 1985. Then, the peculiar feature of this national park is that every year thousands of birds they flock to this area, especially during winter. So, we can say, meanwhile, it also serves as a home to over 230, more than that, 230 species of birds, even more than that. So, even before it was declared as a World Heritage Site, it is already a protected sanctuary since 1971 itself. So, this park it is home to many species of birds and animals, especially basking python, then painted storks, then deer, then nilgai, and even more. Okay, and it is mainly known for the migrated Siberian cranes. Okay. So, here you can see the location of Kilidio National Park. As I said, it is located in Rajasthan. Here you can see the location. And the last class we were dealing with Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, and I asked you to find out the year in which Manas Wildlife Sanctuary acquired the status of Biosphere Reserve. So many of you have commented, but the right answer is 1989. So, in the year 1989, the Manas Wildlife Sanctuary, it acquired the status of a Biosphere Reserve. Okay, so guys, today your question is, this Kilidio National Park was formerly known as, so you have to find out the earlier name or the former name of Kilidio National Park. Clear? And please find out the answer and comment it in the comment section. And today in previous year question revision series, we have got a question. So, the question is, a layer in the Earth's atmosphere called ionosphere, it facilitates radio communication. Why? And we are given two options. First one, the presence of ozone, it causes the reflection of radio waves to Earth. Option 2, radio waves have a very long wavelength. So, these are the two options. So, which of the following statements given above is or are correct? And the options A, 1 only, B, 2 only, C, both 1 and 2, and D, neither 1 nor 2. Okay. So, let's take our options one by one. So, first option says the presence of ozone causes the reflection of radio waves to Earth. So, is ozone present in the ionosphere? No. The ozone layer is mainly found in the lower portion or lower part of stratosphere, and is from approximately 15 to 35 kilometers above Earth. So although its thickness varies seasonally and even geographically. So we can say the first statement it is incorrect. So let's look at our second statement, that is radio waves, they are having a very long wavelength. No, the radio waves, they are not having a very long wavelength, and it is also a wrong statement. So the correct option is D. D means neither one nor two. So our answer is D. Okay. So guys, that's all for today's session. If you have any doubt, please comment it in the comment section. Thank you for listening.